Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers: Willow's rage when Nina and Drew's affair is revealed. According to General Hospital teasers, Willow Corinthos has had enough of playing the nice girl. She's been ripped to shreds by Michael Corinthos' family and tried to put up with it, but once she knows Carly Spencer has abducted her children, she'll lash out and play dirty. Willow was thoroughly influenced by Drew Quartermaine, and she must accept responsibility for her actions. Despite everything that has transpired, he has stood strong. The same can be stated for Nina Reeves. What happens when Willow finds Nina and Drew aren't who she believed they were? General Hospital spoilers reveal that Willow Corinthos' life has been turned upside down. Her children were removed from her, her estranged husband is battling for his life at GH, and her family is irreparably damaged. While she allowed herself to be captivated by Drew, viewers wonder if things would have progressed so far if she had known about his romance with her mother, Nina. After all, Willow not only escorted Wiley and Amelia Corinthos from the family home just before Christmas, but she also permitted Drew and Scout Quartermaine to spend Christmas Eve with them. Willow also made the unfortunate decision to take Wiley to Washington, D.C. to watch Drew be sworn in. If Willow had known Drew and Nina were sleeping together when they were having an emotional affair, would she have done what she did? There was no necessity for Nina to tell her when she thought they kissed at first, but once they did, Nina should have told her daughter what kind of man Drew is. This may have alleviated a lot of misery and heartache while also allowing Willow and Michael to perhaps reconcile despite the treachery. GH spoilers: Willow Corinthos will be outraged because the situation has become so bad. Willow will be outraged when she discovers the truth. She will also feel dumb and may believe she has no one to turn to. She damaged her relationship with Michael and tore their family apart, and now his entire family, both on the Corinthos side and Quartermaine's, despises her. But will Nina and Drew's affair be revealed before Michael leaves the picture, or after the fact, and how will this affect Willow's view on marriage? How enraged will Willow be when she discovers Nina and Drew? Leave a comment below. General Hospital spoilers: sleazy Nina and Martin conspire to gain full custody of Michael's children for Willow? General Hospital spoilers hint that when Michael Corinthos is on his deathbed, Nina Reeves and Martin Gray are rubbing their hands. While he is in the burn unit at GH, they make an effort to obtain custody of Wiley and Amelia Corinthos for prospective widow Willow Corinthos, and we are here for it. Carly Spencer and Jocelyn Jacks, Jason Morgan, and Sonny Corinthos, Michael's loved ones, are on edge while he struggles. Will he survive? Jason and Sonny were present while Michael was in the penthouse explosion and took significant risks to rescue him. General Hospital spoilers: Michael Corinthos burned over 40% of his body. Dr. Lucas Jones has informed the family that Michael has been burned over 40% of his body, and his survival is a major concern. As is customary in such situations, Dr. Portia Robinson called her husband Curtis Ashford, who informed his friend Nina, who contacted Drew Quartermaine, who then called lover Willow. She had Wiley in D.C., so everyone rushed back to Port Charles. GH spoilers: Nina Reeves and Martin Gray move in. Now the entire gang, including Alexis Davis and Christina Corinthos Davis, is at GH holding a vigil. However, clever Nina and Martin are working hard to take advantage of Willow and gain exclusive custody of Wiley and Amelia. Martin discovers that, despite Michael having completed the separation and divorce papers, his will remains untouched, allowing Willow to gain custody. General Hospital spoilers: Michael Corinthos on deathbed. The will states that in the event of something like this, Willow will inherit the minor children. Diane Miller, who is distraught over Michael, is almost certainly oblivious of Nina and Martin's antics. We expect that Alexis will call her to cover all bases. Molly Lansing Davis is the ADA, although she has no power in children's court. General Hospital spoilers: what happens next in PC? Nina and Martin ought to be commended for their quick thinking and audacity. Tell us, GH fans, will they give Willow complete custody of Wiley and Amelia, and is this fair in your opinion? Or do you believe Michael's welfare should come first? A race against time: Willow's return. Willow Corinthos arrived at General Hospital full of worry and guilt. Her absence during Michael's experience was a painful reminder of her estrangement from him. She was miles away, bathed in the empty comfort of diversion, when the explosion ripped through Sunny's apartment. The news hit her like a bolt of lightning, and she fled Washington, D.C. Without hesitation, she dragged Drew Quartermaine along in her rush. Willow strode into the hospital's sterile halls and saw Jocelyn Jacks, her eyes crimson with tears and her face hardened with wrath. Willow's approach was met with a chilly, scorching stare. "How's Michael?" Willow asked, her voice shaking. Jocelyn crossed her arms, her voice dripping with contempt. "Why would you care? Since when have you given a damn?" Willow froze as the words struck her like a slap. "I care," she mumbled. "He is Wiley's father. I'm his wife." "Don't," Jocelyn demanded, her voice shaking. "Don't act like you're a member of this family now. You were not present when he needed you. And now you believe you can simply turn up and seem concerned?" Christina's silent grief. Christina Corinthos sat still in a quieter section of the hospital, head bowed and hands tightly gripped in her lap. The weight of yet another family issue pressed down on her frail willpower. The pictures of her brother in flames tormented her, and the bitter odor of smoke seemed to stay in her head despite the antiseptic air surrounding her. Her mother, always composed and consoling, sat beside her. Alexis Davis reached out, resting her hand on her daughter's quivering hands. "Christina," Alexis whispered quietly, her voice calm but compassionate, "you must hold on to hope. Michael is a fighter. He'll get through this." Christina shook her head, her eyes filled with tears that threatened to overflow. I cannot lose him, Mom. Not after what we've already lost. It's as if every time we believe we're safe, something unexpected happens." Alexis tightened her grip, her voice stern yet full of affection. "The only person who doesn't think he'll get through this. It is you. You have to believe, Christina. For him. For yourself." Martin's leverage. In a darkly lit conference room, Martin Gray sat back in his chair, a wicked smirk tugging at the edges of his lips. Nina Reeves sat across the table, her countenance a mix of anxiety and determination. "Are you worried about Willow losing custody of Wiley?" Martin inquired, his voice calm and measured. Nina nodded, her gaze narrowed. "Michael's family will not allow her to be around those children if they believe she is to blame for anything. I need a plan, Martin. I need to protect her." Martin tapped his fingers against the table, creating a methodical pattern that filled the silence. "We have more leverage than you think," he concluded, his tone soothing. "Michael's illness complicates things, but it also creates opportunities. We just have to make sure we're the ones passing through them." Nina tilted her head, fascinated yet wary. "What are your suggestions?" "Play the long game," Martin stated plainly. "Michael's family is distracted. They are emotional. If we push back carefully and tactically, we may assure Willow keeps her children, and possibly achieves a stronger place in this family." Curtis's blunt advice. Curtis Ashford and Drew Quartermaine met in the waiting area outside Michael's room. Drew's presence, while well-intentioned, elicited awkward looks from everyone in the room. The conflict between him and Michael's family was palpable. "Drew," Curtis approached, "if you really want to help Michael, you need to leave." Drew blinked, taken off guard. "What are you talking about? I am here to help him." Curtis shook his head, his voice low and forceful. "Look, I understand. You care for him. However, your presence is currently exacerbating the situation. Everyone is on edge, and they don't need any more drama. Give them space. Let them focus on Michael." Drew paused, fists clenched at his sides. But Curtis' comments rang true, and after a lengthy time, Drew nodded. "Fine. But let me know as soon as there is any news." Jason's plea to Sunny. In a quiet corner of the hospital, Sunny Corinthos walked back and forth, his mind whirling with questions and hypotheses. Jason Morgan stood nearby, arms crossed and gaze fixed. "We talked about this," Jason stated calmly but insistently. "Exit strategy. You've been saying for months that you want out of the business. If there was ever a sign that the time has come, Sonny, this is it. Sonny paused pacing and turned to see his lifelong confidant. Do you think I can just walk away? After what they've done to my son? No, Jason. I won't go until I make them pay for this. Jason moved closer, his voice lowering to a near whisper. And how many more people will be hurt in the crossfire? Michael is already struggling to keep up with Carly, Christina, and Jocelyn. Do you want to take a bigger risk? Sonny's jaw tightened and his hands clenched. You're asking me to let it go. To let them get away with it. I'm asking you to protect the people you love, he continued. The longer you stay, the greater the danger they face. You understand that better than anyone. A dangerous game. As night fell, the hospital remained a hive of activity, its corridors filled with hushed discussions and worried expressions. Outside, the city seemed strangely peaceful, like the calm before the impending storm. Michael's tragedy was more than just a single event for everyone in Port Charles. It triggered a chain reaction that forced each of them to confront their fears, loyalties, and limits. Michael's heroic exit. The explosion at the Corinthos penthouse was unexpected and terrible, engulfing the structure in flames and leaving the family searching for clues and survivors. Michael, caught in the fire, was able to save a young child imprisoned in an adjacent unit, securing the child's safety before succumbing to the flames himself. This act of valor sealed his fate, a heartbreaking farewell to a figure who had grown before viewers' eyes. When the flames were finally quenched, Michael was still alive but severely damaged. His body displayed the marks of heroism, and his loved ones gathered at the hospital, their hopes and prayers mingled with the sterile buzz of medical machinery. His prognosis was bleak, but the prospect of a specialized burn center provided a ray of hope. The effects of real-life tragedy. Fans that tuned in were moved by the episode. The sight of Michael enveloped in flames was a stark reminder of the continuing wildfires ravaging Los Angeles County. Entire neighborhoods were evacuated, and the acrid smell of smoke remained in the air as real-life tragedy echoed fiction in disturbing ways. In order to accommodate their audience's sensitivities, the creators of General Hospital issued a rare content warning. The official statement, which was published on social media, read, Our hearts go out to everyone affected by the fires currently raging in Los Angeles County. In light of current events, today's episode of General Hospital may prove too difficult to watch for some. Please keep this in consideration prior to tuning in. Thank you for your understanding. While well-intentioned, the warning elicited diverse reactions. The backlash and viewers' reactions. Longtime supporters were quick to respond, and their comments showed the complexities of the situation. You should not have portrayed Michael on fire. Disrespectful to viewers who adored him. Tasteless, one viewer complained. Another user expressed dissatisfaction, saying, This storyline, regardless of today's horrific headlines in California, is an absolute disgrace. For the majority of us, GH has always provided a respite from our daily lives. Love in the afternoon, as we used to call it. Now, my favorite show is all about tragedy. Others criticize the network for bad timing. The fires in Los Angeles have caused enough trauma. Do better. Some appreciated the presentation for how it handled a difficult issue. Michael's exit was both heroic and painful. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing our loved ones. Behind the scenes, a hero's send-off. Michael's departure was more than simply another plot, it signaled the end of an era for the Corinthos family. After years of playing the beloved character, the actor decided to walk away from the spotlight to focus on personal development and family. The cast and crew supported his choice, working to give his character a memorable and heartfelt send-off. In interviews, the actor revealed his opinions about the exit. Michael's journey has been one of love, loss, and resilience. It was important to me that his final moments on screen reflected his courage and heart. Stepping away from the show is bittersweet, but I'm grateful for the incredible support from my GH family and fans. The Corinthos family struggles. Back in Port Charles, the Corinthos family was dealing with a wide spectrum of emotions following the fire. Carly Spencer was distraught, her sadness mingled with remorse as she reassessed every decision she had made leading up to that terrible night. "I'm just thinking. What if I had been there? What if I had done things differently?" Carly confided in Jason Morgan, her voice breaking. Jason, the stoic confidant, put a soothing hand on her shoulder. "Carly, you cannot carry this. Michael made the decision to save that child. That's who he was, a hero." Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos struggled with his own guilt and rage. The explosion was more than a tragic accident, it was an attack, and Sonny was determined to find out who was responsible. "They believe they can come after my family and go away?" Sonny hissed at Jason, his eyes black with wrath. "I'm going to make them pay for this." A town in mourning. Michael's move to the burn clinic created a noticeable gap in Port Charles. His absence caused ongoing pain for his family, friends, and even alienated loved ones like Willow. The heroics of his final moments became a source of both inspiration and pain, a story shared and retold as the village struggled to cope with its grief. Christina Corinthos, in particular, struggled to deal with the loss. She sat in the silence of the hospital chapel, whispering a prayer for her brother, her hands quivering. "Michael, wherever you are, I hope you understand how much we love you. You have always been the glue that holds us together. I'm not sure how we're meant to move forward without you." Moving forward. As the Corinthos family and the people of Port Charles began to pick up the pieces, the fire served as a sharp reminder of how fragile life is. Relationships were tested, friendships forged, and new fights were on the horizon. Michael's departure elicited feelings of sadness and thought from the crowd. It served as a reminder of storytelling's ability to elicit genuine emotions while also reflecting the complexities of our surroundings. Soap opera comings and goings, surprise reunions and eventual returns. Soap operas are including an unexpected reunion as well as potential returns. Here's the most recent casting news from the 4 daytime dramas, The Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, and The Young and the Restless. The week of January 13, 2025. Find out if any of your favorite actors and actresses from the past are returning to the shows you watch, if any newcomers have been cast in contract, recurring, or day player roles, and if any popular performers are leaving. The Young and the Restless estranged family are going to experience an unexpected and unpleasant reunion. Look for Colleen Zank and Haley Aaron to play Aunt Jordan and Claire this week. They will perform scenes together on Tuesday, January 14th, Wednesday, January 15th, and Friday, January 17th. Meanwhile, Ray Wise returns as the villainous Ian Ward. On Tuesday, January 14th, expect the character's wrath against Sharon to escalate. Redding Munsell reprises his role as the younger Harrison Abbott. On Monday, January 13th, the adorable Tyke will appear in scenes alongside Allison Lanier's Summer, Michael Mueller's Kyle, and Haley Aaron as Claire. The Bold and the Beautiful Jamison Belushi, daughter of actor Jim Belushi, returns as April, the hospital lab technician. She airs on Monday, January 13th and Tuesday, January 14th. This week, Naomi Matsuda plays Dr. Lee Finnegan in a substantial number of scenes. Finn's mother is seen on Monday, January 13th, Tuesday, January 14th, and Thursday, January 16th. Romy Park also reprises her role as Lee's sister, Poppy Nozawa. She'll be in scenes with Matsuda on Monday, January 13th and Thursday, January 16th. For the time being, James Patrick Stewart and Scarlett Fernandez have been replaced by Valentine Cassadine and his daughter Charlotte on General Hospital. However, there is more to come. Expect to see the couple again this year as Anna tries to help her ex-lover get out of trouble. Carla Rhoda is back and receiving more airtime as Jen Sidwell. Now that the guy has purchased Windmere, he will appear as the new villain in Port Charles. Mercedes Lopez Renard has been playing Colette Moreau. The WSB operator has been reporting to Jack and recently attempted to eliminate Valentine. Derek Yates returns as Carrie, Javi's current flame and Leo's ex, on Days. The character appears on Thursday, January 16th, and Friday, January 17th. He will engage with Deidre Hall's Marlena, Rickard, and Calderon. Finley Rose Slater appears as Rachel Black. Brady and Kristen's daughter emerges on Thursday, January 16th, when her mother notices her acting up. Madeline Keynes reprises her role as Sophia. The pregnant teen premieres on Friday, January 17th. Wise advice, tense warnings, and life or death decisions. General Hospital spoilers and updates for Monday, January 13th include insightful advice, tense warnings, and life or death decisions. Tracy Quartermaine offers solid advice, Carly Spencer issues a tense warning, and Isaiah Gannon is forced to make a life or death decision. General Hospital spoilers, wise advice. Tracy speaks with Cody Bell about the money he appears to be receiving, warning him that if he invests it, he might easily lose everything. This money is most likely the result of Drew Quartermaine's payoff to guarantee Cody remains silent on key information. Cody drunkenly confessed to the group at the pub on the night of his split with Sasha Corbin that Drew was dating both her mother and her. Tracy looks to be skeptical of Cody's proposed investment, regardless of whether she is aware of the source of the funds. Furthermore, issues may emerge as to whether the payments are in cash, deposited in Cody's bank, or if Drew wrote a check that he may later cancel. Laura Collins reunites with Lulu Spencer after Dante Falconeri successfully transports her back from Prague, Czechoslovakia. Despite their failure to bring back Charlotte Cassadine, she tells a doubtful Lulu that Dante made the correct decision in pursuing her. With Valentine Cassadine eluding capture and a potential assassin on his trail, Lulu may be in grave danger herself. Furthermore, Valentine is no stranger to being on the run in a foreign nation and has the tools to protect Charlotte. He would do anything to keep her safe. Tensions are running high on General Hospital as Carly and Sonny Corinthos square off against Nina Reeves, Drew, and Willow Corinthos. The situation worsened after social services took Wiley and Amelia Corinthos home at Diane Miller's request. Willow ultimately decides to use her healthcare proxy over Michael Corinthos as leverage to regain her children after Drew persuades her. However, Carly warns her against taking this perilous road, while Drew appears to be deep in thought in the background. Unbeknownst to them, Cyrus Renault has just tampered with Michael's injecting it with Digitalis. GH spoilers, Sonny and Nina reach an agreement in another part of the hospital. Nina and Sonny have a private talk in which she advises him not to waste valuable time on this disagreement. They are bound to reach an agreement, particularly when it comes to what is best for their joint grandchildren. Given the circumstances surrounding their marriage's demise, Nina hopes she still has some influence over Sonny. She might even try arguing that their grandchildren are at risk from Sonny's adversaries. This anxiety is not unjustified. Jason Morgan has sought to persuade Sonny to leave the mob for good. General Hospital spoilers, life or death decisions. Isaiah is in Michael's hospital room, urgently trying to save his life. He could be chatting with Lucas Jones, who is hiding behind a mask. Although Lucas has chosen not to treat Michael because of their familial ties, after all, he is his nephew, he is nonetheless determined to doing everything he can to help. Their conversation centers on the potential that Michael has been influenced by Digitalis, and they are planning the best line of action. However, it is crucial to note that Michael had a congenital heart problem as a newborn that necessitated surgery, and there are numerous additional variables that could contribute to a heart attack. Isaiah expresses tremendous anxiety to the other doctor, adding, "If we make a mistake, Michael may lose his life." Rick Springfield, a GH alum, likens the SoCal wildfires to World War II bombing. According to General Hospital spoilers, Rick Springfield was one of thousands of locals who watched the recent out-of-control flames in Southern California. He assured supporters on social media that he is fine and discussed the unique fire catastrophe. General Hospital spoilers. Rick Springfield discusses California wildfires. Rick Springfield has observed the tragedy that has occurred in Los Angeles and beyond, but happily his home was not among the tens of thousands burned by the flames. Many celebrities have lost their houses in the devastating wildfires, and the Jesse's Girl singer laments that some of his pals have lost everything. According to the rock star, the devastated landscape looks like London in the aftermath of a World War II bombing run. He wrote on Facebook that living in Malibu is more of a challenge than we anticipated. GH News. Rick Springfield discusses LA tragedy. Springfield told fans that he has considered leaving the Golden State but can't decide where he wants to relocate. He wrote, "I would relocate to Nashville, but there are tornadoes. I would relocate to Florida, but they have hurricanes. I'd move to Wyoming, but they have that massive caldera beneath Yellowstone. I'd move to Texas, but their clothing code is quite stringent. I'd move to Alaska, but I'd rather not freeze to death at this stage in my life. Springfield, like his former co-star Nancy Lee Grahn, cited the government's decisions as a contributing factor to the gambling problem. He also mentioned that a lack of insurance and no brush clearance exacerbate the problem. General Hospital spoilers California wildfires discussed by soap stars. He wrote, "I'm only stating that we humans have an unbreakable spirit and will rise from the ashes of terrible catastrophes. Everyone who has suffered deserves to be healed and strengthened. We have a family member whose child's school burned down, and every little kid in his class lost their home." At the same time, the GH alum thanked his fans for their support and praised the heroic firefighters and first responders. Tell us, GH fans, have you been affected by the devastating fires? Willow's custody battle leaves Carly in a hot mess. Willow is giving Carly an ultimatum to get her kids. According to General Hospital spoilers for January 9th, Michael Corinthos is in critical condition with 40% severe burns. While the poor soul battles for his life, the battle for Wiley and Amelia is ongoing. Carly Spencer finds herself at a crossroads after being taken into custody. According to General Hospital teasers, Diane's move surprises Nina and Martin. Michael's tragedy is a message to Diane Miller and Martin Gray. The lawyers sense a chance and act quickly, filing for temporary custody of Michael's children. But, guess what? Willow Corinthos' moral compass is intact. Martin offers the concept to her, but she rejects it. Her heart goes out to Michael, who is in the ICU, and it is her priority to ensure his survival. As a result, she prefers not to make any custody choices. Interestingly, Diane takes a different tactic and convinces Carly to approve the custody transfer. What will happen next? Diane shows up at Nina Reeves' apartment with a judge's order to take the kids. Nina and Martin become outraged, but a small piece of information regarding Michael's medical proxy changes everything. Willow appears to wield absolute control in this situation, prompting Martin to devise a backup plan. Willow prioritizes her children, perplexing Carly. He intends to exploit Willow's influence over Michael's medical decisions as a bargaining chip. Talk about a devious lawyer. Furthermore, the January 10th episode becomes heated when Willow receives an earful from Jocelyn Jacks in the hospital. The woman has maintained her calm and been mindful about Michael. However, she loses it after learning of Carly's custody move. Let us just say that all bets are out. Willow asserts her medical proxy authority, threatening to withhold essential treatment for Michael unless Wiley and Amelia return. As a result, Carly is split between her son's health and losing her grandchildren forever. Carly is racing against the clock to save Michael's life. We're wondering if she'll accept Willow's offer and hand over custody. Strange things everyone ignores about Laura Wright. Laura Wright, star of General Hospital, is unquestionably one of the most popular daytime television personalities. Strange things everyone ignores about Laura Wright. Of course, the same cannot be true about her character, Carly Corinthos, since many people either adore or despise her. However, there have been a few things Laura has done and said off-screen that have left some admirers scratching their heads and raising their eyebrows. In reality, there appear to be a number of strange aspects that many people overlook when it comes to Laura Wright. Laura appears to have historically struggled with criticism. In an unusual move last year, one fan remarked on X, "Who is she controlling, and how? This is so disgusting with LW all of the time. Give us a break." Of course, Laura didn't take long to explain why she had conducted the interviews she did. She said, "Let me explain this to you and anyone else who appears to be having problems. I did one interview and they asked me many questions, and then they divided it into separate interviews. I am genuinely sorry that it appears to have offended you so much." General Hospital news, what's next for Laura Wright? And, in case some of her fans still didn't get it, Laura added, "For those who appear to be offended or bothered by my recent interviews, I did the interview because I love GH and am delighted to promote our program." Zox. Not only that, but many people have speculated about her connection with her former co-star and long-term lover, Wes Ramsey. There has been a lot of speculation that West will ask Laura the all-important question, but this has yet to materialize. Many people are curious as to how long Laura will have to wait until Wes decides on their future together. Michael almost died. Willow got the divorce papers in Washington, D.C., and anticipated the custody battle would be unpleasant. When she called Martin, he was reassuring until she revealed she was in D.C. with Drew. Willow was concerned that she would cost Drew his congressional seat, but he insisted that it would not happen and promised to stay with her anyway. Michael informed Sonny that he had filed for divorce and stated that he now recognized a trend in Willow's attraction to males who could save her. Jason arrived, and as he and Sonny stepped out into the corridor to discuss, an explosion swept through the apartment and engulfed Michael. Jack joined Carly for supper, and after she told him about Jocelyn, they learned about the fire and raced to the hospital. Carly slammed Sonny for putting their lives in risk again after learning Michael had been seriously hurt. Jack rushed to collect Jocelyn, and Lucas requested Isaiah to take the initiative because Michael is his nephew. Willow took control. Nina and Curtis were bickering about Willow and Drew when they found out about the fire, and she immediately contacted her daughter. Willow ran back, denied Martin's offer that they file for full custody right away, and then headed to the hospital. Martin informed Nina that Willow still had Michael's medical proxy, which could prove important. Curtis attempted to persuade Drew to leave the hospital, but he refused, and when Carly rejected his sympathies, he stated she was too responsible for Michael's plight. Alexis and Sonny both comforted Christina. Anna requested Brennan's assistance from the WSB when investigating the explosion because the bomb was specialized. Diane showed up at Nina's with a court order to take Michael's children home. When Willow arrived, Jocelyn attacked her until Nina intervened. Drew joined them and suggested using Michael's medical proxy as leverage in the custody dispute. As Sonny and Carly discussed medical possibilities with Jordan and Isaiah, Willow appeared to declare that she would be making decisions about Michael's treatment. Meanwhile, Cyrus, who had overheard of Michael's injuries, crept into his hospital room to inject his four and stop his pain. Jocelyn wanted justice. Jocelyn packed up Dex's apartment with Trina's assistance and screamed about apprehending his murderer. While Trina was at the car, Jocelyn discovered a revolver in a drawer. Meanwhile, Brennan obtained satellite imagery from the day of the stabbing and identified Cyrus as the attacker on Dex. Joss told Trina she wanted to stay in the flat for a while, and while Trina was hesitant to leave her friend alone, she eventually consented. Jocelyn studied the gun on her own before loading it. Brennan handed Joss a list of persons to talk to in Rice Plaza on the day of the stabbing, beginning with Felicia, who recognized Cyrus had stopped ringing his bell while Dex was being stabbed. Sidwell moved in. Lucy greeted Sidwell as the new owner of Windmere and promised to introduce him to Port Charles society. He invited her out for one night, and she accepted. While eating at Bobby's, she told him about the Spencer family and then inquired about his background. Sidwell was naturally reserved, but he expressed gratitude to Lucy for assisting him in settling in. Around Port Charles, Lucas claimed that Liz would never damage a patient, and Portia agreed but had to suspend her to prevent her from becoming a scapegoat. When Brad noticed Cyrus talking with Isaiah, he blasted the villain for attempting to give Britt an overdose, but Lucas intervened to pull him away. Portia threw Cyrus out of the hospital and told him to stay away. Brooke Lynn lamented to her mother about not being able to have a kid and wondered if this was retaliation for abandoning the child she had as a teenager. Meanwhile, Chase told Sasha about it and felt awful that Brooke Lynn felt pressured to have a baby. Jack was upset with Colette for overstepping and shooting Valentine, but she questioned why he wanted to keep the guy alive. Ava met with Rick to discuss reclaiming her Cassadine money, and he attempted to speak with Alexis on her behalf, but she was unmoved. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.